tester training. So in continuation with what we were doing earlier, I'll go back to the Google Drive where we were putting all the information. Do you remember, team, where did I have the CSTT? This is just videos. It's 29. Should be here, but there was I was showing you project work. I think Selenium Live project. All right, so now that we found the sheet, let's continue with what is it that we will achieve in today's session, team. So I'm going to briefly write this as to what we will try and do today, so there's good clarity for all of us. Day 2 topics. Increase the font. Basically, look at the test case writing format in the Excel sheet. All right. Then we will talk about 3 specific things, team. What are keywords? What are element identifiers? And we will also talk about the reusable test data. Now, how does this become a very critical aspect of general manual testing, and how we take the same learning and put it into automation testing also. And then we will talk about building the corresponding scenarios for a test application for any application or test. And once we do that, in the next session we'll talk about execution, test preparation, and test results, how it works as we speak today. This is what we will be covering in day 3, team. Day 3 topics. And at the end, I will assign a mini project that you can pick it up and start working as well, team. So execution, test execution, preparation, not in the same order, but at least we have them. And then we will talk about how to get certified, what are the steps you need to take, and finally how to present in the interview on about the certification. Not only in interview, we'll also talk in how we can write something in the resume / present in resume / interview. Okay. Anything else that you think will add value to this learning, please let me know so I can add it here, and then we can continue on that. All right, let me see if my fresh print is working. Not fresh print, my stylus. Okay. So team, here is how the concept goes for any testing. Okay. When we want to test something, be it in general testing or software testing, what are the things that we will really focus on? Number 1 is, what is it that we need to do? What is the command? What is an action that we need to perform? The second is where it needs to perform that. Either we know it visually or we know it through this. The third is certain times you require data handy to be able to complete that step. So what we have to do, where we can do, and some additional set of data that is important to complete the step is very critical. So in our test step format, the way we'll say is there will be a test step ID. Of course, we'll have something like a description. And then we want to keep these three things as this is the what, this is the where part theme. So what actually becomes something called as keyword column, where becomes something called as the element identification, and this data comes into a test data column. These are the additional fields that we have. So let's go back and look at the sheet, the test case template that we have. Team, audio and video is okay, right, for everyone? I'm seeing very less responses in the chat. All right. So when it comes to manual testing, team, this is very simple. We will put it in English kind of terms. But when we talk about how we do the same as we speak in terms of automation frameworks, this concept becomes very critical. This is what we can call it as keyword driven framework, more like page factory, a little bit about POM also into it, page object model, and this becomes data driven framework. Because of this need arise these things, these steps. So what we did is, I'm not showing the code level, but one of the first things we did in that Selenium code is we put a library file in Java and we call it as a keyword library. In that, we identified about 70 regularly used commands by the users on a web browser. What are the examples for it? Like clicking a link, opening a browser, or typing into a text field, selecting from a drop-down list, radio buttons, images, text area, everything that you see, right? Different combination, right click, hit enter, hit tab, down arrow, up arrow, any keyboard commands also you should be able to execute. We created this library called keyword library, and for each of this we wrote, for example, click link, right? We'll say we'll pass the keyword information, what is the a keyword, the element ID, and the test data. We send them as inputs, and a small Java code is written where it will have something like driver dot, it will look like this. Driver dot find element by, let's say it says XPath, and then you'll put an XPath value. What is the value in that? Let us say it's something like input, open square brackets, at user name, no, sorry, name property equals username, close this, close double quote, close this, another, and then click. This is the method, and this kind of a piece of code we put, and we created one thing called click link. And then we created similarly for open browser, select from a drop down list, and so on. We built a library of about 70 regularly used keywords that we can map. Now what we did in the program is we said hey, if we write in the Excel sheet in the same format, in the spreadsheet, where instead of just saying what is the test data, test step, and error, which is common, we will create a version of this. Test steps AnyAUT. And the way AnyAUT as an application takes these inputs is something that we need to understand. So test case ID is unique to every step in that test case. A test step ID is there specifically to say which order the steps have to be executed. A step description tells that what is expected to happen in this step, in this test. So far it's all manual related, team. Now comes two new columns here and it will complete. So we'll change the color of these three. This keyword, the element ID, and the test data. So when we look at writing the same step, there are predefined terms that we will select. All right. And we have to enter that within the application. So what we can do is, instead of typing all that information here, we will go and directly type it in AnyAUT. So let's log into the application. AnyAUT Orange. I'm using my account, team. All of you can create your own free account, join and log in and start practicing, because the exercise that I'll give is just not for your practice, but that will also help in certification. It's going to be a very, very simple exercise. You'll follow exactly the way I am performing and try and do something in that. Okay. Actually, it would have been better if I had a totally blank account. Has someone created a blank account by any chance and not put anything? Remember your username, password. I could use that better, I feel, because this demo one. Let me see. If you can, team, that will be great. Provide me if one of the users have created, or you can quickly create and show it to me. Let me check first of all what's there in here, and based on that, I'll see. Come on, is something wrong with any of login? Any of the websites are down? Tut, 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 tut. They're all on the same server. I'm just wondering why it's only not trying to log in. Okay, it's logged in now. Oops. Okay. Now there are already a few things created. So what I will do is I'll do a little cleanup later, team, for the same things. In fact, I would like to delete all of these. So I think delete should be, let's look at the modules. Employees, freelancers. Okay, that's fine. We'll keep it like that. Test cases will modify. So, okay, good. Test steps. All right. So now the first thing that we will create and build within the AnyAUT once you log in team is to recognize it from the application under test. What is the name of the application that you're testing? The URL for the live version, which is the URL that's there for that application outside that is accessible, because we cannot see the test version as an admins. And the industry, this is more like little data collection for us and so on. So you enter the details and either, so I can change it and then click edit. Okay. Once the application is created, it becomes like a tree structure team. Sorry. Okay. So the first thing is an application. Everything that we do in that application will be out here team. All right. Now, typical applications are big. So what happens is we break them into multiple modules or sub projects within the application and so on. So you can have more than one modules within that application. Like for example, what if you look at iTeLearn.com, it has the regular UI based testing, 404 error page testing. It will, then there's a user management module, there is a technical forum module, then there is a membership access module, there's an e-commerce module, and so on. Because some of these require different kind of planning, different strategy, and sometimes even different technologies come into play, what we're using for what. Once we divide them into modules, for each module we create multiple test cases, typically between 50 to 500 for each module we create. So test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, and so on. Now what happens is, again, test case is still at a very high level. We have to go further down, and for each test case we have multiple steps. So the biggest view of an app, of anything that you see, is the entire application, but it is primarily built on these small things called test steps. So each step is an execution, is the smallest possible execution that happens on an application. It's as simple as one keyboard button press, a click down, a click up also, and so on. So that is the smallest, and they slowly get built to form the application. So the same concept we've put here. First, the user adds the detail about the single application that they want to automate. Second, under this application, we could create multiple modules. So this is already created for QA on air, and I'm just adding to it. There's an employers module, there's a freelancers module. Let's say sometime down the line, there's an e-commerce module also coming in. All right. And this right now is not auto-generated, and we're leaving that option for the user to enter how they want in their series. Model description is e-com transactions. All right, and I add the module. So we have put the details right now in such a way that it is easy for us to understand, okay, for each module we can divide and write different test cases. Now when we go to test cases, what you'll do is you'll say first which module are we referring to, and in that what are the test cases that you want to add, or you can go and edit the already created test cases. A test case will then be linked with multiple steps. So if you remember this flow of how applications divided into modules, each module into test cases, each test case into multiple steps, there is the same flow we follow here. And then in the test cases, once we add them, we can go and create individual test step for each of it. The way it is very similar to any other test management tool, how you go about inserting the information into the web applications. But at the end of it, it is very extremely easy to execute and run it as an automation test. Though you write total manual, you will be able to execute it for automation using Selenium. That is what we're doing. Now, what is the module name where user registration is there? Is there module here? No. So I'm going to create quickly a user management module, and I'll give this M004. Okay. For all user related test cases, and let's add this module. Now for that module, I want to add one test case. So I just say M004 and it will show me what is the description also for it. Test case ID, I'll say this is test case 001 in this module. So I can always say M004 underscore test case and so on. The naming convention is definitely left with the end user. What is this test case about? Or I can also call this as user. What were the ones we had? Now let's see. What was the test case we had? Two test cases, 001, 005. Is sign up freelancer. I will maintain the same thing that we're doing here even in AnyAUT. That way there will be very less confusion when you're referring to multiple documents. So test case ID will be this. Test case description also is present, so I don't have to recreate this right now, and we're putting it. Sign up freelancer, done. Now I go back to the same module and enter test case ID, which is the next one. This is the one. Enter test case description. This is the description for it. Test case ID, test case description. Okay. Add test case. Now against these test cases, we write the steps. All the steps that we now have out here, we will have to figure out which keyword within, which is we also call as you'll see as we get to the reusable components, the user-defined, not user-defined, built-in keywords. For everything, if you remember, team, I was saying there is already a keyword there, and this list of 66 entries so far are the ones which are covered. It will let you execute each and everything in here with pre-created reusable functions that's there in the engine for us. So now these are the steps that I need to execute. So first is open browser. How do I go and add an open browser? So from test setup, I go to test steps and I have to add them individually. In Peach, we are looking at a way where they can do it in an Excel and then publish it. But then because of what we do, then we can upload it as well. Reusable components will help once we do it in the correct way to save significant amount of time. The process will get even more shortened with how we can write the code. Step ID, I'll just say is 1. Description is open browser. Now for this, like I said, right, there are 3 things: keyword, element, and test data. So user-defined keyword is something that we will create in reusable components, and then we can use it here. If I already have any reusable keywords created, it will be visible. If not, I will choose what is already present inside. And we're talking about open browser. So you start typing and it will appear for you. And this description, which what it's saying is for this built-in keyword, what is it that it's doing. Too short, and we are also working on the help manual to be able to get proper recommendation for the user as they keep using. The type of element reusable is again something that we use through reusable components. So if there are reusable elements already present, then I can choose them. If not, I will use one-time use only. And I don't have to worry about entering anything for this, because for open browser, I don't need an element. I just need test data. Now, how many of you have basic knowledge on Selenium element identification team? There are two videos, or rather, how many of you are not very strong in element identification? There are two videos which are absolutely mandatory. Element identification is in Selenium is nothing but descriptive programming in HP QTP UFT. There are two videos that I would want you to watch. Can you all try and accomplish that before the Tuesday session? It is extremely clear. It will talk about how from IDE you can move to element identification using XPath, CSS, ID name and everything. Okay, then it will become easy for you. So for some keywords, only certain information is needed. Why? Because to open a browser, all I need is what kind of a browser should I open. So I'll go here and I will say user intent one-time use is Chrome. That is the browser I want to enter. All right. Now we add the first step, and we go about adding each and every step this way, all the way till the end of this. One of the new features that we're planning in Peach is test case duplication and also Excel uploads. And if anyone is there from the Peach development, kindly take a note and please put it in Trello. It is test case and test data duplication. It is also uploading directly from Excel. All right, download an Excel and upload from Excel. Now, let's write a few steps, team, at least a few. Say module first test case, second step, navigate. So for navigate, I don't know what is there. So I'll start typing, oops, okay, navigate, yeah, that's fine. I'm using again a built-in keyword and I start typing navigate. Navigate browser has come. So I take that and I say, I don't need element, I just need test data, one-time use, and I'm going to put the URL, http://qaonair.com, and add this test step. And let us say that for this test case, we just want to keep it as, just few steps. Open browser, navigate browser. Let's do the next one, which is click on sign up link. Let's do that next step. Keyword. Click what? Click a link. There you go. For this, I need a element identification team. I need to know exactly what is present. So I can write the type of element, which is link text. Look at this application here and see what is the text for this link by clicking on sign up. You can go for inspect and look at the code. And the link text is whatever is there within it. So copy that. It is case sensitive, so if we don't give the right case, it will not work, team. For this, no test data, so I add the test step. verify that sign up free account is present. Okay, so I want to do a text verification. So for text verification, oh, this is not the browser. Step number is now 4. These are the improvements, team, that we have to apply into our each version now. Step description, this is verify a text is present. So do we have already a keyword for that? So it will be either text verification or verify text and so on. So there you go. Verifies the text with the given data. So to verify the text, that is when we click on this sign up, I want to be able to see, where is this? This freelancer text here, or sign up free account to be there. Okay. So I know this is the text that I'm expecting. So I take the text and I'll put it in the test data, one time use. This is the test data that I want to check. Now, where should this text appear in the whole web page? On the top, bottom, center, where is it going to appear? How do we know? So to identify where it is, again, we inspect that element. It is of h2 is the tag for it, which is heading of size 2. That is some basic HTML that we have to be able to do element identification, team. Very basic. You can also right click and say copy the XPath from here, and it'll copy it for you. But the problem with that XPath is it'll give you where is it in relation to other fields. So it'll tell you from the first tag HTML, navigate down to body, in that first div, in that next div, and then finally h2. This is the XPath. You can use this. It should be fine. Or what you can do is, for this, we can use, okay, let's see, very simple. Is there any other h2 element in this page? 11 sections. Sign up free account. Okay, this is in meta. That's fine. This is also meta. This is okay. CSS. Only one h2 tag. Second is with class widget title. I see. Company. Okay, and keep in touch. Okay, this also they kept it as h2 that came with this. No problem. Okay. So even then, since this is the first h2, the XPath that I can write for this is very simple. Just / and the HTML tag h2. This is the how to write an XPath of CSS and a few more things of it, team, is one thing that we'll need to learn. There's no coding involved even in this, but it's just a concept. How do we look at that HTML code, exact section where that element is, and then try and do something on it. All right. And then add this test step. So as we keep adding them, they'll keep getting built up out here, team. So different test cases are getting created. For each test case, there are multiple steps. Your dashboard will start giving you clarity on what you have done and so on. Now, at this point in time, we can export the test setup as is down to an Excel file. This is the file format that we take and which we put that back in as an input to the desktop engine. It uses this Excel file as a mediator to do so. If you make a mistake on this in the steps, how do we find the error? So when we come to test results, I'll show you that. All right. So here is the complex structure of how the details, whatever we're entering, will come here. So application and test, we created this, good. Modules, we added a few new ones, that is also here. Test cases, the two new ones that we added are here. Let me increase the font size. Come on, what happened? Oh, it's there down. Okay, so what are the test cases that we did? The test steps that we've created. Now these are the ones that we just created. So this indicates built-in keyword, or this says it's a user-defined keyword. Then what is the keyword itself? What is the element type, element by and element ID, test data type, test data value. This is the one which we created now. What we have not yet come to, team, is to look at user-defined keywords, built-in keywords, and so on. It is not very easy to understand why AnyAUT will still be much more efficient than writing regular code until we come till the reusable components. But before we get there, I want you all to take a trial and start seeing if you can follow and do the few instructions that I'm giving you as a task. Very simple instructions. If you can take the next half an hour and just try and work at your end. Where am I creating these documents? It's the problem. It's going to different folder. Move to. Okay. I'm already here. All right. So most of this we have kind of touched upon, team. We will do a little bit more practice, hands-on, and then get to the next thing. Okay, so what is the mini assignment, team? It's going to be pretty interesting. First and foremost, choose your own application and test. Any application, team, no problem. Okay, write basic manual tests in an Excel sheet like I showed you. Okay, then you sign up with anyAUT.com/orange. Start to add AUT modules test cases and test steps. The same one, team, you will continue to use the same till the certification happens. Now, very briefly, let me also tell you, because it's important to know what is certification all about. One, you should have attended this free training. That's the first and foremost thing. Second, you have participated in the assignments and final mini project. All right. Finally, we will have a certification test that you need to clear. That's it. With this, we can confidently say that yes, it is going fine. And with so many of you participating, I'll have to really have my team spend time reviewing what you're creating. So please keep it very easy for us to understand. Here are the instructions to create the the assignment one, I'll just say. All right, team. Now, I don't know if you all have access to the sheet. What I will do is, it still doesn't show. I'm going to give access to this folder to all of you through the chat team. ACT October. With that, I'll come to your question. So any questions that you have about assignments, please continue to ask me. I can address it. There's what is mini project add you, or you're already in the mini project team. The link is there for the test cases sheet. Here is what I'm requesting you all to do for as assignment 1 is follow these steps. I'm putting those also on the chat. For those of you watching the video, please look at this as instructions and do the same. And then as soon as you're ready, by the time you're working on it, I will complete creating a simple template where you can all start putting your information. Okay. Can we select same project as our assignment QA on it? I would recommend no. Try and do it on any other application because we're already seeing QA on it, correct? It would be good to see a few more. I will leave it to you, team. I just did recommend, but I'll leave what application you want to choose to yourself. So while you're doing that, I'm also working on few things. Assignment is due now during the class. If you can complete it, that will be great. At least a few of you, I will try and review and see what you're doing correct or and not. Alright team, I have shared the Excel file also with you in the chat. So as you complete your exercise, kindly start filling in this column, which will let us know as to how far we have progressed. Alright team, most of you have started working and start filling, so that's good. Siddhant, is there a real application called demoqa.com? If not, you'll have to look at any available applications and then put in your name. Put in the app name, please. Oh, okay, then that's good. For test cases, just use the simple template, the first test case one and the next test step. Okay, don't do the AnyAUT version of it yet. You copy this into your sheet, use this format and do a new one. Can everyone who's present start filling in this sheet which you see on the screen? I've also shared that link in the chat. And even if you're watching it as a video, so please do put your information in the sheet here. It is very critical team that we follow the right instructions and execute, because that's the only way we can really confirm your certification. Facing issues in creating a test case in Excel? If you want to avoid that for now and create it directly in AnyAUT, that's fine as well. So when I say AnyAUT account team, it's just yes or no answer, please. Yes, I created it. No, I have not created. We don't need the details. If you're currently on mobile device team, I will strongly recommend that you do it later once you have access to the system. The site is not responding. Is it because too many people have logged in the same time? Just 50 members. Join us. My problem is all my accounts are mostly used. I'll figure out one thing. I think at valcasa.com. If you already have an account, team, please try and recover that password. Who could successfully sign up? It is becoming unresponsive during submission. Just give it a second or two. I think it should be able to complete the process. Maybe this is the same issue some of you are facing. It's happening slowly. Alright, so let's go back to the previous screen and see. So most of you have created. That's good progress, team. And now for these applications, think of very simple two test cases, one module, two test cases with 4 or 5 steps each. That's it. And put it in there and see if you can show it to me, if not today, in the next session. And I will have those two videos sent for element identification. It is still hanging there for me. Even, okay, the assignment, I'll just write it here. Let's see. Yes, teams, this is what I said we should do. The reason is it is not about just complete filling up the entire thing. Even the small things, how we do, becomes very important for this tool. And what we are learning here, like I keep mentioning, uh, is just not for AnyAUT as a tool. As any test management tool, they follow almost the same pattern, almost, except for a couple of things here and there. So I'm going to pause right now, team, the recording. I'll be on mute for a couple of minutes. Those of you who are ready with creating something, even simple thing, I would like to see if we can review it quickly today, and then we'll see what next from there. Okay. So, Roxanne, I'm going to quickly make you the presenter and kind of showcase what you're doing. Hitesh, maybe in the meanwhile, you can complete for the others and we can work there on that.
Hi, Karthik.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, very good. You. I just felt like confused. I don't know. My voice is echoing. Like I can hear my own voice.
I'll try and be on mute.
Okay. All right. So my application is Amazon. I'll go from here, like the test setup. So AUT is Amazon, and this is the URL, and industry is e-commerce. And then I go to modules. So my module name is youramazon.com, and module ID is Amazon sign in, and the description is sign into account. I was just able to write like one test case. So this is my module ID, which like when you click here, it already comes up. This is my test case ID, and the description is the first one is registered with valid inputs. So now I go to test steps for this test case. So I was just able to create 2 test steps. So this is my test case ID, and the test step ID, like I had to put like the number, and the description is what I'm about to do. So that is the action, like open the browser. So I clicked on like the built-in keyword. So when I click on this, then I get options to choose from the keywords that you have in store. So I click on, since I want to open my browser, so I click here, open browser. I did not give like the type of element, since it does not, like Chrome does not involve any elements. The type of this data I gave, like one-time use, and it's Chrome. And that was like the first test step, and the second step is navigate to the URL, and same thing, like I have to click on the built-on keyword, and then there's already like navigate browser keyword. So I picked up that, and I was just able to work on like the reusable components. I just created only one element, like the email. I did not finish it, Karthik. So which like select element page, it means like the element that I'm going to deal with, I'm going to work with. So on which page is the element located? So the element that I'm going to work with, that is on the sign-in page. So that goes here, and the name of the element, I was about to write like email.
I have not yet come to that part. I'll come to that part, and then we will work on that. So just
okay, all right. So yeah,
test setup only.
okay, all right. So that yeah. So I was just able to write just only 2 test steps, and this is my Excel sheet. Like this is my module.
Okay.
This is only one test case that I'm like sign in with correct email and correct password, and execute yes. And the test steps 5, I was just able to like work on the AnyAUT like only till this much, step 3. So that's about it, Karthik.
All right, great, perfect. I think that's exactly what we wanted to work on till. So I think we're good on that. Good one, Ruxana. Anyone else also wants to go?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Hitesh. I'm making you the presenter, Hitesh. I'm coming. Go. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Hitesh. How are you?
Good. How are you, Karthik?
Good.
Can you
Good.
hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. So, I guess I can go to the dashboard. Wait a minute. Okay, let me minimize this here. So, my AUT, can I show it here? My AUT name is farmers. URL is farmers.com, www.farmers.com. Industry is the insurance. And if you go to modules here, so far I've created one module. Description is, if I go to the, just to give you a layout of the website, when you go to farmers.com, it basically presents you this page. And here you can select what kind of, you can get a quote, and then you can select what kind of insurance you want to get the quote on, enter the zip, then start your quote button. Click on the start your quote button. Then it takes you to the next page where you can enter additional information about yourself. So I have this first module here where I'm basically, the objective of this module is to test, being able to enter the zip code, etc., and see if the functionality is working properly on the first page, and then being able to go to the next page to add the additional customer info for each new code. You guys with me so far?
Absolutely.
Hello?
There. Yes.
Okay, so then I have a couple of, I think I created one test case so far, and the test case's description is test case ID 0001, module ID is M0001, description, entering customer info for new auto insurance code, testing of that. And then the test steps that I have so far. Actually, this description here is wrong. This should be open browser. This should be to access the particular kind of browser. So I need to edit that. Sorry for that mistake there. Open the browser, Chrome, and then second step, go to the farmers.com website, navigate browser, and this is the URL, www.farmers.com. And that is how far I was able to get. I skipped creating the spreadsheet at the moment, just so that I can have something here to show you. I don't know how what was her name, Roxana? That was pretty good. She must have taken your courses previously. She seems to be on top of it. I've taken few of your courses before, but it's been some time, so I'm not totally fresh on it. But I guess I can freshen up on that in creating the spreadsheets.
No problem.
But I
Great.
think I get the gist of it. I get the gist of what needs to be done, though.
All right. Great. That's good. So Hitesh, this looks very good. What exactly we wanted to do is what you've put together, and the reason I said why don't we try um, bypassing the Excel creation, because it is almost the same effort with little bit more benefits in doing it in the web UI, and then we can always export that Excel back.
Exactly. Yeah.
So since we're
So
getting it,
that
need it again. In the
It's
assignment,
not really necessary. If you can map it in your head what needs to be done, then you can just use the AUT directly to do what needs to be done.
true,
That's the
correct,
way I feel about it.
absolutely, great. So, team, thank you, Hitesh and Luxana and everyone for participating. What I'll quickly do is make myself the presenter now.
Sure.
Thanks, Hitesh. I muted you. Right. So the assignment, like I said, it's absolutely okay to skip the Excel. So this we can strike it off. Format, strike through. Okay, that is quick. And I think this is what you're doing, team. When we come tomorrow, we'll look at the reusable modules, reusable components that we have to look at first. And then we can go to these. That's it from my side, team. There's one action item that I have that I put. Everything is in the chat, and I'm going to quickly try and copy everything from here. Selenium element identification videos. This is the chat. I'm just taking it so I can easily send it. Okay, so this is good. All right, team, all done from my side. We will need to reconnect, I believe, on Tuesday at that same time. You'll have a little time to go through a couple of more videos, and then we should be able to complete everything in the next one session. If not, we'll do one more session, just if you want to do a little bit more assignment parallelly. Thank you, everyone. If you're watching the video, please do the same at your end. You can do all these assignments in the same thing at your time zone. Take care. Bye for now. A great weekend, everyone. Bye now.